Inside Michigan Football is presented by Meijer. Hi again, friends, and welcome to another edition of Inside Michigan Football. Doug Karsch alongside John Jansen following Michigan's 29-7 victory over the Michigan State Spartans. And we'll get to the game eventually, but there's a story that everybody's talking about, what happened in the tunnel after the game, and you were actually up there.
Yeah, and I don't know what caused it, but I do know that in the tunnel, you and I have both spent time going up that tunnel after the end of the game. I'm not sure what the Spartans were still doing in the tunnel. We've gone up there a number of times. By the time we get up there, everybody is in the locker room. When I got up there, trying to get in the locker room, there's a melee outside. There's video of it. They're going to try and figure out what's going on and what happened, who started what, who swung. There's a lot to look at, but Michigan players were in the locker room at the time. There were some guys that did want to come out. Coaches and other players were holding everybody back. And I'm just glad that everybody was eventually able to get in the locker room. I talked to Jim Harbaugh after the game about it, and this was his take.
Yeah, two of our players were assaulted. It was we saw the one video. It's the 10-on-1. It's pretty bad. I'm going to let our athletic director Ward Manuel address it with the authorities. Pretty open and shut. I mean, one of our players has a nasal injury. Could be a broken nose, and just very unfortunate.
John will have more with Michigan head coach Jim Harbaugh later, but straight ahead, we'll get to the highlights of the Wolverines' win over the Spartans. Next, here on Inside Michigan Football. Inside Michigan Football is brought to you by Meijer, presenting sponsor of the 2022 Michigan football season and proud supporter of hundreds of local sports teams across the Midwest. Welcome back to Inside Michigan Football, Michigan and Michigan State. Let's get to the highlights, John. First half, Wolverines deferred their choice to the second half. Spartans got the ball first. Michigan forces a punt, including this play, dropping Peyton Thorne on a quarterback keeper.
Well, anytime you get a chance to hit a quarterback, anytime you get a chance to stop an offensive drive, it's a huge plus for Michigan.
Wolverines on their first drive hit Luke Schoonmaker on back-to-back plays. Schooney, the first one on a third down. He was a big part of the game plan tonight.
He was, and coming out of the first half, he was their leading receiver. And when you've got a quarterback who, especially in a game like this, is just looking to get the ball out, you got running backs, you've got a tight end that is very reliable, and he's got a lot of trust in.
Cornelius Johnson fumbles, however. The Spartans, they've been good at that all season long. That's what they needed, their formula. But the Michigan defense gets the ball right back with this stop on 4th and 1 to get the ball back, not only get it back, but in Spartan territory.
Well, and I think they only ended up losing about 10 yards in that. They lost it on the 37, got the ball back on the 47. So it didn't cost them huge, but it did set the tone for early in the game.
Well, and here's a big play. We go to Jansen Vision and Donovan Edwards coming out of the backfield.
They've got guys, there's two receivers down here, you've got two up here, and it spreads out the defense. And when it does that, it leaves one linebacker, 4 linemen. You've got 5 blockers up front here. Everybody matches up easy. The pass protection should be good. But what it does is it leaves this linebacker one-on-one with Donovan Edwards. We know how effective he is coming out of the backfield. And I'll take Donovan Edwards matched up on a linebacker anytime. He's got a two-way go. Whichever he feels he can go on this one, he heads to the sideline, and there's no chance this linebacker can stay with the speed of Donovan Edwards. It's an easy completion, and he takes it down to the 4-yard line. Great job of play calling and setting up a play that was very advantageous throughout the course of this game. I think they did it 3 or 4 different times.
Wolverines get a field goal out of that. They led it 3-0, but the Spartans come right back. Keon Coleman with a touchdown catch here.
We knew coming into the game, Peyton Thorne wanted to be able to throw the ball to his receivers. He wanted to throw it up. They do such a good job of going and getting it, and it's whether it's completion, sometimes it's pass interference, it's yardage for Michigan State, and it cost Michigan in the first half.
But the Wolverines get a drive going again, and once again, it's Schoonmaker for 18 yards.
Scooney has done such a good job, and on this one he just comes right across the middle, right in front of the linebacker, and they've done a good job of setting him up for success, running off the secondary, putting him one-on-one with that linebacker, getting him into open spaces and making things easy for him.
Michigan State's up 7-3 as we go to the second quarter. This flea flicker netted a big gain for Michigan.
It did, and they originally wanted to get it to Roman Wilson. That was going to be the big play. I thought there was holding on it. Refs didn't call it. We saw them let the DBs play throughout the course of the game. He ends up a completion to Ronnie Bell, and it was a big play, big first down for Michigan on that drive.
And then 24 more yards to Luke Schoonmaker. Again, the Wolverines have it with a third down play in the red zone. And here's J.J. McCarthy, technically a touchdown pass to Blake Corum.
So as this play sets up, originally Blake Corum was lined up over here. They had everybody else on the line of scrimmage. They brought him in motion over here, and what happened was, the reason they did it, they wanted to see if Michigan State was in man-to-man or zone coverage. They originally didn't adjust. They had nobody on Blake Corum. If that happens, I tell you what, before they adjust, JJ, all he's going to do is look out here to Blake, throw him, and walk in the end zone. They finally bring somebody out here to match up with him. Here's the guy that has a man-to-man coverage. He doesn't end up getting out here fast enough. So when this play rolls, you're going to see Blake, as he comes across, gets the flip from JJ. This linebacker here cannot keep up with the speed of Blake Corum, and it's an easy walk into the end zone.
That gave Michigan the lead back. Now, here is a huge play in the game. Michigan State's got it 4th and 1 from the Michigan 5 with the Wolverines on top, 10-7, and the defense comes up with their second 4th down stop of the first half.
Coaches are so aggressive now on 4th downs, and this, to me, I don't understand why Michigan State wouldn't want to come away with points. I understand that they want to be able to get 6 points, but Michigan did a great job of penetrating, cutting this offense in half, and making a big play in the backfield.
Then the Wolverines go for it themselves. 4th and 3, J.J. McCarthy runs up the middle for 16 yards.
His ability to, whether it's a called quarterback run, to extend plays, was huge in this game. He did a great job of picking up first downs. When you have, and you know that you're going to get man coverage, everybody's got their back turned to him. As soon as JJ gets to that second level, he's got a lot of green grass before anybody even knows he's running.
Donovan Edwards then a couple of runs, 1 for 9 and 1 for 7 yards, got the Wolverines into the red zone, and the Wolverines get another Jake Moody field goal right before the half to lead it 13-7. Then Mike Morris with a sack that pretty much ended the first half.
Yeah, and they got the ball back, which Michigan should have never let him get the ball back. It was offsides on a punt, but Michigan's defense again came up big. Mike Morris, hey, Michigan State's going hurry up. He gets set, he gets ready, beats the left tackle right off the ball, and it's a huge play.
We'll have second half highlights when we continue from the Big House here on Inside Michigan Football.
Feels great. I've never seen him before. Obviously we lost him my freshman year, but I didn't win the previous year, so that wasn't mine. You know what I'm saying? So it feels good bringing him back, and allowing me to be a part of that. Whew, it feels good.
Phenomenal. He came back, back home to his rightful place. Donovan said it best earlier, before the game. Right now we're going on a rescue mission. So that's what it felt like. I was like, without second guy step, I was like, this is a rescue mission. Yeah, and I couldn't stop smiling about it.
So far that I've been here in Michigan, I've been 0-2 with him, so there's really been no better feeling than finally getting Paul back, finally executing on all sides of the ball, doing what we should have done a long time ago and getting Paul back, so it feels amazing.
Welcome back to Inside Michigan Football, and let's get to the second half highlights. Blake Corum on the first drive of the second half goes over 1,000 yards rushing on the season. Good run here.
Well, he's so elusive, and he does such a good job of bouncing off of tackles, making guys miss. And tonight, one thing that we really noticed was that second effort of being able to pick up first downs. Yards after contact has been huge for him.
Schoonmaker again comes up with a catch in the red zone, and it leads to another Jake Moody field goal, and the Wolverines led it 16-7 at this point. The Michigan defense gets a 3-and-out. The first play the Spartans ran of the second half, this is a great coverage play by DJ Turner.
Well, as you can see as we go to Jansen Vision, DJ Turner does a great job of getting in the hip pocket of Jayden Reed. And what he does is as Jayden Reed tries to run the fade route, DJ Turner is going to be right in his hip pocket, and he forces him basically out of bounds as he goes down the field. But what happens is, as we start to see this play roll, right here you've got DJ Turner running neck and neck with Jayden Reed, and the ball is going to land inside here. He doesn't have to do anything. His body position is, and his technique is what defeats this play. We saw Rod Moore come over and help later in the game, but this play is won simply by the fact that Jayden Reed can't come back for the ball. There's another great angle here, as you're gonna see right here, DJ Turner, and he's gonna turn and run with Jayden Reed all the way down, and you're gonna watch Jayden Reed almost step out of bounds, but he does a great job, again, matching step for step, not allowing him to come back in for the ball, which ends up landing right down here.
You mentioned Rod Moore with a pass breakup. That forced a Spartan punt. Blake Corum here, 12 more yards, and he just gets tripped up. He might have taken this one to the house.
So close, and it was a shoelace away from another touchdown.
Ronnie Bell then on the slant, one of the few deep shots the Wolverines got, this for 29 yards. But once again, the Spartan defense stiffens. Then Jake Moody, good from 33 yards. It was 19-7. Then Will Johnson with a great play here on Jayden Reed, a quick pass. How quick did this freshman close?
Well, he's done a great job in run support. He's done a great job in pass coverage. His growth through now 8 games has been tremendous. Steve Clinkscale has talked about he's earned the right to get more and more reps, and this is exactly what you're going to continue to see.
Spartans didn't get a first down in the third quarter. Then J.J. McCarthy on 2nd and 10 scrambles, goes for 11 yards and a first down. As third quarter turned to fourth, Wolverines get another Jake Moody field goal. This one from 54 yards, a career long.
A career long, and I mean, you go 5 for 5 on a day, and you get that production. It's disappointing that you don't come away with touchdowns, but when you have the opportunity to put points on the board, hey, you put a drive together, you want to get paid. Points is how you get paid. Jake Moody's done a great job of paying off those drives.
That made it 22-7. Then Chris Jenkins gets unblocked on this play.
I don't know what Michigan State was doing, what they were looking at. The ball is running right at Chris Jenkins. They decide we're not going to block him, and he does exactly what he's supposed to do, and that's make a play.
And then Michigan State had to punt. Here's what happened. And another high snap, and Behringer's going to drop it, and the Wolverines are back there as he had trouble with the snap.
You just had to say it, didn't you?
2 plays later, Blake Corum scores this touchdown.
Hey, when you finally get an opportunity, Michigan had been chipping away. I thought they should go 3 passes because running the ball hadn't worked. They stayed with their identity. They pushed the ball in the end zone. It's great to see him get in there.
Here's Braden McGregor getting involved in the pass rush, a sack of Peyton Thorne.
This was a coverage sack as well as an effort sack by Braden McGregor. Just beats Jordan Horst around the edge, and it's just a matter of, hey, pursuit at that point.
Okay, speaking of effort, this 3rd down and 3, Blake Corum battles, determined, gets the first down.
And we've seen this so many times, whether Blake Corum makes a guy miss, it's the yards after contact. His desire, his drive to be able to get first downs tonight was impressive.
And then this sealed it. Rod Moore's interception as Michigan got the win, but Rod Moore is 3rd pick of the year.
It's a beautiful thing. He basically baits Peyton Thorne into it. He's in the right place, right time, and hey, you got to make sure you make that catch. I bet that ball looked huge as it was coming into his hands.
Wolverines get the win over Michigan State. We'll hear from the head coach of the Wolverines, Jim Harbaugh, next. This is Inside Michigan Football.
The game shouldn't have been as close as it was. I mean, we got to finish. We got to just put 7 points on the board any chance we get, and it's going to be a huge focus this week, so I can guarantee we're going to improve on that.
We can play better. You know what I'm saying? We get down to the red zone, we have to put it in. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to beat, some other teams just off of field goals if we really want to go as far as we want to. So we're just going to work on it. You know what I'm saying? We'll probably, when we go to practice, we'll work on it until it gets better. Because we can drive the ball, as you guys see, but, we had a hard time punching it in today.
The only times the opportunities they got to score, we allowed them to do that. We knew if we executed properly, they weren't going to get anything. So we just really, we relaxed, we played loose, we had fun, and, you could see the results.
I guess our run defense has been on it. It's been on it the last couple of games. You can tell, everybody's got fire in it. We're not playing scared. I'm just proud of our guys.
Feels really good, just walk out with a W, but there's so much we could improve on. I'm walking out of here with a bitter taste in my mouth, so it's just one of the beautiful things about this game is that, it's come away with the W, but there's so much more that we can improve, so I'm excited for this next following week.
Today's conversation with Jim Harbaugh is brought to you by Meijer.
your thoughts, so soon after the game?
Yeah, just really, really proud of our guys and the way they played. A lot of great things to highlight, especially the defense. I mean, the way they played on third down, the amount of third down stops, 3 and outs was outstanding.
Was there any adjustments you guys made at halftime? Early in the first half, there were a couple of deep passes that were completed. Second half, whether it was, it was much better.
Yeah, we started doubling zero, and that really helped us.
Just talk a little bit about Blake Corum.
Yeah, just another great game by Blake. The yards he's getting, yards after contact, things he's seeing and doing, just outstanding.
The composure of your team on the field throughout that whole game was a huge advantage for you guys.
Yeah, we want to win that phase of the stuff that happens after the whistle, and we did. We knew they would be doing the stuff they do, and it's on tape, and our guys just committed to it. They really did, John. They committed to playing really disciplined.
J.J. McCarthy felt like there were not a lot of opportunity to go downfield, but he took what was there and really managed this game at a high level.
Real high level. A lot of first downs in the game. I don't think, one late punt in the fourth quarter. Tremendous game, moving the ball, getting first downs. J.J. converting, the whole offense converting on third downs, keeping drives alive and putting points on the board.
And how about Jake Moody, 5 for 5 in field goals? It was a huge part of this game.
It was. I was like, should we go back to the well, again on the 54-yarder? And that's Jake Moody. We have nothing but great confidence in him, and he came through for us tonight.
Hard to nitpick, but any concern about being more productive with touchdowns in the red zone?
Yeah, I mean, go ahead and nitpick. Yeah, would much rather have the points. Much rather have the touchdowns, but I like having the points too. I mean, and our red zone defense was outstanding. Michigan State got the ball inside the 10, and we stopped them on downs on that possession. We stopped them on downs on a few possessions, but especially when they had the ball inside the 10-yard line, and we were able to force another turnover on downs. Really proud of guys getting a win, moving to 8-0, and now it's on to the next one.
Now it's time for our Al Rowe Steel Men of the Week, and this week it's the offensive line. No sacks of J.J. McCarthy and 276 yards on the ground.
They love what they do, you know what I'm saying? And when you love what you do, you do it to your capability, your fullest capability. So sometimes I just like to sit back and be as patient as possible, because they're not going to get to me. They're just punishing them. They're not going to touch me. I can be patient, take my time. Obviously, sometimes I got to speed it up. But sometimes I'm like, I'm going to be really patient and let me just see them work.
And hey, Brad Robbins punted a football for the first time in over 2 complete games. You have to go back to the beginning of the fourth quarter of the Indiana game for the last time Brad Robbins punted in a game.
So obviously, he's getting pretty bored on the sidelines, but now he stays locked in, and whenever his name gets called, he's going to go out and do a good job, and he's been doing a great job holding these past few games. I'll say that. He's got a lot of holds.
We'll close things up when we continue here on Inside Michigan Football.
It's amazing being on a rampage. 8 wins in a row, 8-0. It's just an opportunity that we're having success, but the job's not finished. We still got a ways to go. We still haven't done what we wanted to do yet, and that's at the end of the day, Big Ten championship, beating Ohio national championship. So we still got room to grow, but it's great to be where we're at now.
This is Michigan running back Blake Corum, his pregame routine. He's getting into the candy. It's Halloween weekend. He was handing out candy as well. Whatever works, Blake Corum, 1,000-yard rusher. Happy Halloween, everybody. John, you taking the girls out trick-or-treating?
We're at the point now where they take me trick-or-treating.
Do you have a favorite candy?
I would say Reese's, especially frozen. It's hard to get those in a trick-or-treat can, but hey, the houses that I go to, they'll know what's necessary.
I'll give you mine. And you guys have fun on Halloween. Happy Halloween, everyone. Michigan with a win. We'll be back next week to take a look at the Wolverines game with Rutgers here on Inside Michigan Football. Inside Michigan Football is brought to you by Meijer, presenting sponsor of the 2022 Michigan football season and proud supporter of hundreds of local sports teams across the Midwest.
Hail to the victors, hail to the conquering heroes, hail to Michigan.